Hello everyone, Soul Bad Greg here. And tonight, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a really shitty ASMR stream. Hello Alone Tribe. Pleasure to see you here on the dance floor. Let me know if my voice sounds okay. I'm trying an experimental mic setup. It's not my typical mic. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's kind of quiet. Okay, how is this? Is this a little better? I want to make sure that the audio is coming in pretty good. I got my face pretty close to the mic here. It's a little better. Okay. Why don't I try bringing up the gain just a little bit? It's currently at 6. Okay, brought it up to 5.3. How's that? Is that a little better? That's good. Okay. If you think it sounds good, then Soul Bad Greg is on the case for a nighttime of shitty ASMR. I hope you're ready. We're going to be diving into the Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. This game was a Kickstarter game, bringing back the old Tex Murphy adventures from the 90s, full FMV cheese, if you don't know what that means, full motion video, where they had actors filmed in for the game, despite the fact that the games came out like in the mid-90s or something like that. So the artifacting and stuff looks really bad, but it's super cheese. And so I decided to play the newest one that just came out last year. And surprisingly enough, the same actor that played in the original games also plays in this game, just many, many years later. So without further ado, let's be shitty detectives together. How dare you have updates and not tell me? You worked fine yesterday. There we go. It could help if I actually hear what's going on the screen. Yes, how dare the internet? Okay. Now that we're in here, we need to make sure the audio sounds okay. That's way too loud. Why is the audio this loud? Alright, let's bring the master down. How's that? Is that okay with my voice? Is that not too loud? It's not overriding my voice? Okay, good. That's good. It's what a detective likes to hear. And we are detectives. Just not very good detectives. Alright. Let's restart this. We're gamers here, folks. So we're going to go into gamer mode. That's right, we are new to the job. We've only been doing it for 7 years, so there's a lot we still have to learn. They don't teach you these things when you get involved in the detective agency. All right, now let's get into the Tesla effect.
Where am I? Is this a dream?
Not quite, Murphy.
And you're the big PI in the sky?
That's right, Murphy. But now is not the time for you to be here.
I've heard of the big PI in the sky.
There's a vast and malignant evil at work on the earth, and fate, for some reason that even I cannot fathom, has chosen you to oppose it.
But why me?
I'm no more thrilled about it than you are. Nevertheless, your fate has been decided.
Thank you so much for over the 7,000 members of the Mutant League who contributed over 600,000 to the big PI in the sky. Because of that, Text is back. I've only played a little portion of this game. When I did my small segment on what the heck did I buy at the Steam sale, where what I do exactly, I showed off 4 random games that I bought that were super cheap on Steam, and a lot of them turned out to be really good, and this one included. So I decided to do a full let's play of it from the beginning. You can tell this is a serious game. The screen is full of pages in cursive and people in suits and fedoras. But like actual fedoras. And not those crappy dribbly hats that everybody online keeps making fun of people who wear quote-unquote fedoras. Guess what? Those aren't fedoras, those are tribblies.
My name's Tex Murphy.
His name is Tex.
Small-time private investigator in the big city of New San Francisco.
Yes, random games can be fun.
Glamour districts. It's in the rundown mutant part of the city, close to Coit Tower. A place they've been refurbishing for years, but it never seems to improve. Not exactly great for business, but it holds a strange attraction for me. I've cracked some pretty big cases over the years. You may even have heard of me. But I don't do much investigating anymore. These days, I'm known for being a man who gets things done, no matter what the cost.
Hey there, Gundam.
You got a job that pays? I'll do it. No
It's great to see you here on the smooth jazz dance floor.
Why I became a PI. Maybe I was drawn to the romance, adventure, and independence it offered. Or maybe because I believed in its code of honor. That a man can remain untarnished as others sink into a cesspool of lies.
Join me in being a shitty ASMR detective. I don't know why people are complaining about the performance issues for Cyberpunk 2077. This game seems to be running just fine for me. Scowl. See that? That's acting right there. See, that's how you know this game is good.
Even a set of principles can slowly slip from your grasp.
There you go, Lone
The world
Tribe.
has a way of beating you into submission. Circumstances change. The guilty aren't always punished. Temptations become obsessions, and love can be violently taken, leaving it empty and hollow.
I just got a brand new processor for the rest of my computer upgrades. I'm really excited. Next week I'll be able to fully rebuild my PC.
Can't be put back together again. You finally realize the only way to get ahead in this world is to make sure you're on the winning side, and then do anything you can to stay alive. I don't know why I'm so reflective tonight. Maybe I finally crossed the Rubicon, but that's not true either. I passed that sign miles back and didn't even pause to take a picture. Maybe I just feel extra guilty tonight for what I'm about to do. There was a time when I would have never agreed to do something this despicable. I can't explain why I do this, but maybe Judas would understand.
Why are we doing this? Oh, look. Apparently we are a private investigator and a dance instructor. This game is already right up my alley. Yes, Gundam. This is Cyberpunk. This is just a say-so version of Cyberpunk. Because as you know, Gundam, we're say-so here. Only say-so.
I think we got him. Let's get
That's because I say so. Ooh, that doesn't look very comfortable. 7-year ouch. Ooh, that looks like that will give him a headache. Thankfully, that's not a splitting headache. I like that tie. We're gonna get that tie.
Hey, you! Over here!
Wait a minute.
Finally! What was all that commotion outside anyway?
He must have got hit pretty hard. Now we got the Mystery
got
Science
hit on the
Theater
head.
3000 guy
Remember
talking
me?
to us through a
Old
device.
pal Buck? Seriously, you look clueless.
Who or what are you?
Geez, how hard did you hit your head? Well, let me reintroduce myself. I'm your smart Alex, your personal assistant, version 1.5, fashioned
He
3
certainly
years ago
sounds
in a
like a smart
factory with
Alex.
Truly horrible working conditions you don't want to know. I'm your trusty, tech-savvy sidekick, whose primary functions include travel agent, inventory
got you,
tracking
Gundam.
and analysis,
I got you covered.
investigative advice, case notes, and I'm also a confidant and a best buddy, you gigantic oaf. Remember?
Not really.
Would you like a tutorial on my usage?
No, we don't need a tutorial here. We're real detectives here. Wait, Real Detectives, isn't that a show? Hello, Glitch Clinton. Welcome to the Smooth Jazz ASMR stream. As we play as shitty ASMR detectives in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. Apparently have a fax.
Oh boy, thanks.
Alright, Gundam, after I read this, I'll tell you about a type of dance. It actually fits in with what's going on here.
It's a note from my old friend Archie Ellis. Apparently he's out of town doing some research. When he returns, I'll need to ask him about the case we're working on.
Ah, that sounds good. Okay, so apparently, besides the fact that we are private investigator, I like to call him a detective, but apparently we are also a side dance instructor. Sounds an awful lot like my type of guy. Look, the culprit.
Salsa dancing is a Murphy family tradition.
Damn straight. You can salsa your way into my heart any day. So, fun fact. This is actually showing you the steps for one of the types of salsa. As you can see, it's an 8 count. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Although honestly, I don't really know the salsa that much. I haven't had a chance to try it yet because all of last year was canceled for my dancing, so I didn't get a chance to learn more ballroom dancing, which kind of sucks. But according to this, when you do the 8 count, you hold both feet together, and then you start forward with your left foot, which is typical in a lot of dances that I do. And you bring the right foot back, and then you bring them together on the 4th count, and then you repeat. Hold the beat, and then have your right foot go back, and then have the other foot arc forward, and then bring them both together.
When things get slow in the detective business, I've always been able to fall back on my skills as a dance instructor.
Oh, I'm getting tingles. This is the rumba. I've actually never danced the rumba.
When things get slow in the detective business,
Oh.
I've always been able to fall back on my skills as a dance instructor.
Okay, nothing new. Okay, well, let me give you a dance that I personally know how to do. I'll tell you my favorite one. I'm not sure if I've told you about it yet, but it's one that I have the most knowledge about, and it's specific for swing dancing. It's called the Lindy Hop. The Lindy Hop, along with salsa, is an 8 count dance. What you do with the Lindy Hop is you and your dance partner, you start out in what's called open position, to where you hold your dance partner in either one hand, typically your left, or both hands, your left and your right. You start off with the 1st and 2nd count, doing what's called the rock step. The rock step is when you take 1 step back, and then you rock your feet back forward to the starting position. And you would typically do it with your right foot back, and then you rock, and then you step on your left foot forward, and then come back together. Your follow would do the exact opposite. And what that would do is that would help build momentum to help bring you into the 3 and the 4 step. This is where things get interesting, because if you know anything about partner dancing, the lead is, as the name suggests, leads the follow into the dance. All the follow is doing is specifically following your movements, your cues, your touch, your balance. Pretty much wherever she or he will go is purely by you. So when you and your partner go into a rock step and then come back together, unless if you hold firmly with your hand in a rubber band fashion, you never want to go tight, and you never want to be loosey-goosey. You want to make sure that your arm is like a rubber band. It has resistance, but it's not going to stop. Same thing with hers. So that way you and her can both maintain a connection. If you maintain a connection and you add enough resistance, she'll feel that and she'll stop moving forward. But if you don't, she'll move forward. And guess who's right in front of her? That would be you, the leader. So unless if you want her to crash into her, you need to make her go somewhere else. And the way you do that is by doing what's called, let's see, actually I don't remember the actual term for the step, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to bring her in to a closed position and rotate on your feet. She's going to orbit around you like the moon goes around the earth. And on the 4th step, you guys will be in the exact opposite positions of each other and do what's called a triple step. So you go rock, step, triple step. But it's important to note that when you do a triple step, you don't do a triple step evenly. You do it offset. So it's not rock, step, triple step, It's rock, step, triple step, rock, step, triple step. Once you're in the enclosed position and you both are in the exact opposite portions of where you're at, just like the Apollo mission, slingshotting from the moon to go back to the Earth. It's exactly like what you'll do with your partner. So on 5 and 6, you'll take a big step, rotating around, and you'll send your partner back out and go back from a closed position to an open position. By the time you hit 7 and 8, you do another triple step, and by then her momentum will begin to slow down because your rubber band arm will be able to hold her, and she'll notice that and she'll slow down. And then once you hit to the top of the 8, you guys will be right back to reset on your original position, ready to do another swing out or whatever you prefer. That's just the very basic. There's a lot you can do with the Lindy Hop. I've actually posted a competition videos of what a competitive Lindy Hop looks like. It's quite insane. I may post it again tonight. Yes, you are correct, Alone Tribe. I need to make an emote still. I have Anya almost done. I was actually going to finish her tonight after the stream so I can get her turned in. And then I have 4 additional emotes that I'm going to be working on over the weekend. I was having some problems today because for some reason my art program that I used to create the emote wasn't there. It just disappeared. I think maybe my secondary hard drive went down or something, but it's back up now. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time for the stream to do it, but I'll definitely do it after. Hello, Robbie. Thank you for coming to the Smooth Jazz ASMR as we play as shitty detectives in a game called Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. No, it's not good. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes, if the computer is on and then it makes itself go to sleep and it turns back on, sometimes the secondary hard drive won't turn on. I'll have to reset the computer. My friend who helped build the computer for me said that could happen sometimes.
No messages on the vid phone.
No messages on the vid phone. That's troubling. What is this? I'm doing good, Robbie. How are you doing?
Enigma. Sounds like the story of my life. Why would I be researching this?
This is a mystery.
This looks interesting. Probably a book on how to map out fun spots to visit inside your brain.
Yes, built computer. All the computers that I've had, except for the very first one that I've had, are all built.
Glue's always useful.
We got a glue for something. What is this?
Article on the Russian White Movement. Am I truly so bored I'm reading Russian history?
Fascinating. I'm curious to see what it's about. What is this?
Oh, my decoder ring.
Of course we have a decoder ring. What a silly question of me.
The resort sounds like an upscale condo community. Definitely not something I'm interested in.
Well, that sounds rough, Robbie. Yes, R.I.P.
Whoa, this melted chocolate bar's been in here for a while. Chocolate always reminds me of Clint, one of the residents at Chandler Avenue.
Oh, really?
This isn't a good time for a social call, punk. If I don't get it fixed soon, I'll go insane. Dory me plus a lot to do.
What do you mean, go insane? Seems to me you're already there.
How do you get lost before I eat that chocolate-colored hat of yours?
Oh, I see what he's talking about. That was very concerning. Who? What do we have here? A crime against humanity. Why is this broken?
Man, this record's broken in two.
We can't have that. I think we found a use for the glue.
On Saturday nights, I push the furniture to the walls and cut loose on the dance floor. Maybe try something else. That was a waste of time.
Huh.
Well, that won't work.
I gotta remember how this works. Oh. We have combination slots. Look at that.
I guess luck counts for something.
That editing though. Ooh, let's put it in here.
Ah, my old trusty Victrola still seems the same. Plays my 78s.
I don't know what a 78 is.
I close my eyes and dream of one. The one
Fascinating.
I close
No.
my
Oh gosh.
close
I think we've done it now. Oh no. We're in hell. I can't have this. Oh gosh. Bogart.
One of my golf partners. Old Bogey, we call him.
Oh, interesting. You're correct, Robbie. That's not creepy at all.
These are my credentials. They don't just give this to anyone. You have to pay a fee.
That's true. I've had to pay that fee too. It's not great. 2 out of 10. Would not recommend.
This happened on my first case. I was in the shootout of my life at the warehouse district.
Oh, I remember that day. It's truly terrifying. I didn't know if I was going to get out of the warehouse alive.
I took a bullet, and while I was recovering, I swore I was always going to use my brains before brawn.
Yeah.
From here, I get a great view of Chandler Avenue, the original Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams. What's all this money doing here?
What on earth is this amount of cash doing in my office? If someone was trying to hire me to do something, it probably wasn't legal. I better put this away until I know exactly why it's here.
Okay. Why are there holes in my wall?
I sure don't remember how these holes got in the wall. They look fairly recent, judging from the debris. Who would have done this? And why?
Why does the water cooler look like this? It looks like it's made out of paper.
My indispensable water cooler still doesn't have paper cups.
Oh, that's a problem. We should really fix that.
Ah, the Colonel. He was my first real mentor in the PI business, and here he is giving me a helpful tip.
Ah, I remember those days.
Because apparently you never learned the first rule of a PI. And never, ever betray your friends. Now, friendship goes beyond blood and race and politics. You gotta find out who your friends are, then you hold on to them.
I always get the chill of fear down my spine whenever I think of him.
It's good advice. Glad I remembered it all these years. Why is there a bullet hole in my head?
These are the fedoras I've collected over the years, and I take great care of them. Hey, one of these has a hole in it. How did that happen?
Old trusty sidearm. Been with me since the beginning. You want some of this, huh? Bam, bam! Hey, bam, bam, bam! Bam! Bam, bam! Bam! And you!
Oh no.
Hey, Sonny, can you help me out? My girlfriend threw my gun out of the window. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just pick it up and, hey, don't point that thing up here. That's not a toy, you know. Oh, my hell.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Oh, that's not great.
It's my Gene Autry fake book. Whenever I'm feeling low, I can sing the songs of my hero.
Ah,
Maltese Falcon.
I don't remember picking up this little souvenir. How long was I knocked out?
The plot thickens. Let's go to our room. What the?
Covenant footrest. Picked it up at a government warehouse sale years back. But I've never had the nerve to open it all the way.
Ooh. I don't know if I should be more concerned about that, or the fact that my bed has leopard print.
What's up with the bed? Looks like it's for a Lothario instead of some hard-working down-on-his-luck PI. Am I going crazy here?
Robbie, the reason the gunshots sound like that is because we are currently in the future of San Francisco in the year 2050.
Yeah, I remember years ago, I was finishing up the latest Mike and Ike Candy Kids adventure, and I realized I devoured several chapters and it wasn't agreeing with me. I could feel my stomach churning like a volcano, and I realized I wasn't going to make it to the bathroom.
Oh, what? I'll get you, Murphy, if he's the last thing I do.
Yeah, it's kind of been a sore spot in our relationship ever since.
Oh yeah, I don't like talking about that.
I certainly don't remember this piece of furniture. Looks like a genuine antique instead of something I normally get at a white elephant sale. Someday, I hope to collect all of the Mike and Ike Hammer comics and place them here.
I got a feeling I know who's the big sponsor for this game. But it's just a feeling. Hello, Nate Dogg. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor as we play as shitty detectives together in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. This guy either has a lot of interests or something is clearly wrong. What is this?
That was from my first jackalope hunt.
Ah, I guess that makes sense. Well, Nate Dogg, since you're not asking for what I have on my channel redeem, I will give you an hour. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, San Francisco looks way different now.
Let's see, we've been getting points. I wonder what the points do.
I see my credenza is still keeping dust off the floor.
Oh, we found a Mike and Ike's editable comic book.
Well, it's another Mike and Ike Hammer candy comic, Key Lime Largo. I'll put this in my comic book rack.
Oh, very nice, Robbie, very nice. I don't think you were here when we were talking about how to do a Lindy Hop swing out, which is one of my personal favorites swing dance moves.
My friend Louie runs the Brew and Stew, and this is his personal brand of coffee.
But I can walk you through another step that I like doing.
It packs a wallop.
It's much easier, and what I would recommend for beginners when they try out swing dancing. It's called East Coast. The way East Coast works is that it's a 6 count step, unlike Lindy Hop, which is an 8 count step. The way you do Lindy Hop is with
So it wasn't a horrible dream. There are gun shell casings and a shot-out window above the electronics shop. I know I'm involved, but how? I should investigate the area and then find out if anybody else heard the commotion.
Yes, Alone Tribe, you were the first one here, alone, as a tribe. That was a shitty joke. You're welcome. So, Robbie, if you ever want to learn how to do the East Coast, you want to do a 6 count. with steps 1 and 2. Oh,
Chelsea's newsstand is completely abandoned. I need to find out what happened to Chelsea.
this game likes interrupting me, I'm sorry. So the way you do East Coast is with, when you have you and your partner, the easiest way to do it is in open position, where you take your partner by the left and right hand. You stand open, and with steps 1 and 2, you move your body to the left by stepping to the left. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either do the close equivalent of like a triple step. So you go 1 and 2 to the left, starting with your left foot, and then you move your right, and then you end it on your left foot. And then for 3 and 4, you go to the right side. So you do a triple step to the right side, starting with your right foot, and then with your left, and then ending on your right. And then once you go to the 5 and 6, you do what's called a back step, in which you step back with your left foot, and then you rebalance on your right foot. And that way, once you reach the end of 6, your weight is on your right foot. And when you go back to 1 and 2, you can launch into your left foot again, going left. I don't do that, however. I do left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Here, I'll show you. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked the explanation. One day, I'll have a full body rig set up to where I can show you what the dance looks like in my VTuber model. It'll be great. It'll be glorious. But that day will have to wait. Maybe if I can finally grab the what is it called? The special Steam one that's out. Because I have an Oculus Rift S, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I want full body tracking. It doesn't offer full body tracking. I was very disappointed. Hello, Gozu. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor.
This photo was taken from the top floor of the electronics shop. Who's over there spying on me?
We got spies. What is this? These look like vials.
Where is he? He's up at the window. I think we got him.
Someone was shooting from the top of the electronics shop.
Interesting.
It's the Wardenclyffe Tower, a Nikola Tesla invention. I have the strangest feeling this is related to a case I was working on.
Where's he shooting from? Look, the top window.
I think we already did that.
All right, just shut out our headlight.
I remember speeder headlights coming down the alleyway. Another Mike and Ike hammer. Candy Cane Confidential.
We're gaining points. I don't remember what they do. I better take a look. Oh wow, 2 comic books for the price of 1. So Gozu, if you're wondering, we're doing a really shitty ASMR stream of a full FMV adventure game called Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. You probably remember these games from back in the day, old adventure games where they would sometimes use full motion video with real live actors to portray the scenes, and that's what this game does.
It's a Mike and Ike hammer candy comic, Citizen Candy Cane.
Plot twist, they wanted our Mike and Ike collection. I got a feeling you're onto something, Robbie.
It's just a bunch of junk. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yep, this looks like San Francisco, alright. I've seen that. Very interesting building. Can we go inside, I wonder?
It's an electronic shop now, but it once was a boarding house for some of San Francisco's most notorious smugglers and petty criminals.
I'm glad you like the ASMR. I feel like this is cheesy enough to pull it off for a detective game like this. Oh no, it's a crime scene. I'm not allowed to enter this by the fact I'm a detective. Well, technically I'm a PI, but who's really asking?
Behind Rook's pawn shop is a dirty, ugly alcove that reminds me a lot of Rook himself.
Interesting.
These dumpsters have housed various individuals over the years. It's always nice to know I'll have a place to go if I can't make rent.
That is comforting. I never thought of it that way.
The gate's locked. But when Rook gets to work, he'll unlock it. So I'll check back later.
Oh, I see. What is this? Oh, it's nothing. I thought that was something.
Yeah, the city of Old San Francisco picks up the trash once a year. I think we're getting close to our date.
What do you mean? That sounds like current San Francisco. Ah, I made a joke. Ah, my trusty car. 3 textures and all. I don't want to go anywhere just yet, though.
Heck, Malden. That buffoon always got credit for cases I solved.
Yeah, always grinds my gears.
Problem with vid phones is you can't call anyone from the bathroom anymore. Well, you shouldn't. A bell will be placed in the lobby if a clerk is on duty.
Ah, there's no clerk on duty today. Ah, 1B, 1A. What is this? Severe domineering escort. Have you been a bad boy? Oh no. Oh, this is not say so, guys. This is not say so. It's not. Let's make our way away from the non-say so room and not talk about it ever again. What do we have here?
Needs a key. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good.
There's danger afoot. 2B. Nah. I'll leave her be.
Oh, I had this door permanently sealed as it opened directly into my bedroom. People thought that was awfully presumptuous of me.
Interesting. Oh god, the non-say so room. 2B or not to be? I think we know the answer to that question. The fuchsia flamingo.
Closed. Yeah, this building's been a lemon for anyone who's tried to open a business here.
Interesting. The Golden Gate Hotel.
It's closed. Most businesses on Chandler Avenue won't open until later.
Ah. Ah, they're all closed.
It's closed. Most businesses on Chandler Avenue won't open until later.
Okay.
Ah, looks like Louis at the Bruin Stew is preparing to open up shop. You should go talk to him. Maybe he heard something.
Oh yes, the Bruin Stew, my favorite. Has been a lemon. First time I heard that phrase. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of firsts in here for you, Robbie. And I'll be right there with you.
I'm here to see my pal Louie, but I see a pretty brunette at the counter. I have the feeling she recognizes me, but I have no idea who she is.
Wait. Is that Anya? Oh, no.
Wow,
it's
hello,
not.
stranger.
Oh. Look, we have role play. What should we do, guys? How should we approach this, brunette bombshell? Hello, Raid House. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor. As we play as a shitty detective in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. So let's say we have a vote for Pinch Me, a vote for Straight to the Case. Oh, idioms in English confuse you. I apologize for that. I didn't realize. It just comes natural to me. Okay, well, we have one for Pinch Me and one for Straight to the Case. We need a tiebreaker. Okay.
This totally feels like a dream.
That has got to be the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Just for that, I'm gonna get you some coffee.
Oh, now we have a metaphor or less, Helpful Hank, and My Way. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets. So, for a metaphor or less, it could mean that what she said as far as giving us coffee could mean something different. Helpful Hank may be talking about, I think Hank is the owner of this bar, and My Way is just telling her how we like the coffee. My way. So we have one for My Way and one for Helpful Hank. Once again, we need a tiebreaker.
Yeah, that'd be great. Look at the Armageddon blend. Just a titch of...
I know how you like it. Like your women.
It's how I like my women. Wait, what? No, I mean that's how Tex likes his women. I like my women full of smooth jazz. Alright. We have a possible curious metaphor. The real me, or somewhat reluctant. How do we take this coffee? The real me it is.
Whoa. A little early for that.
Really? The way you hold your liquor, I just assumed you always got an early start.
Oof. Should we give her the Dr. Jekyll? Or give her the alcohol's magic effect? Or let her continue to keep talking? We got one for Give Me More. She knows us, but she called us a stranger. Not because we're a stranger, but because that's more like a pet name. Give me more it is.
Actually, I could use some pain-killing up around this general area.
Is that blood? Ow! Oh, hush. You not picking fights again?
Shall we give her the stranger danger? You're in my personal space. Cautious first step. Or maybe play out a little fantasy with her holding our head. Gozer jumps right to the little fantasy. Alright, little fantasy it is.
I don't know what happened, but you look pretty incredible in a nurse's outfit.
You do, huh? You in the mood for a little role-playing? Who do you think you are? Mr. Tall, blonde.
Oh, I think we're starting to hit the jackpot, guys. We can turn the tables on her, give her little white lies, or stranger danger out of the situation. We have turned the tables, little white lies. Little white lies it is.
Well, I'm Tex Murphy. I'm a private investigator. I'm 39-ish, and I live at the Ritz Hotel.
No. Let me show you how to do it. I'm Taylor, and I'll be your nurse. I recommend 2 aspirin and lots of rest. Maybe I'll have to more.
Stranger danger keeps popping up. I think the game is saying something to us. Deja vu or not. Or some work, some play. Come on, everybody, how do we want to cheese this? Yes. Deep, deep thoughts. As deep as Chicago deep dish pizza. Which I've had, by the way. In Chicago. Pretty lady, go bird. Good call, Robbie. Good call. We're feeling pretty good about the some work, some play. Okay.
I have to investigate these gunshots, but maybe if I were to do it really quick.
I have to go into work today, unfortunately. But maybe after work tomorrow. Ah, geez, I'm late. I got a new extension at work. I'll send it to you, smart Alex. Please, Go see Dr. Donahue at the North Hill Clinic. Call me after and tell me what she says about that noggin of yours. See you, Uncle Louie.
See you, Taylor.
Mr. Murphy, what are you doing here?
Oh. We seem to have met an ogre running the bar. Or a zombie. Or something. Yeah, I think shock and awe is appropriate here.
Louis, you look great. I hardly recognized you. I mean, how did you lose so much weight so fast? Some sort of hypo-lipo session?
I've been this weight for some time now. You just never noticed.
I see. I think we should do some buddy speak here. What do you think? That's alright, Robbie. You don't have to worry about the spelling.
Mr. Murphy. Come on, Louis. What happened to Moy?
Is there something I can do for you? Because if not, you got stuff to do in the back.
Perhaps it was something I said. That's what I'm leaning on right now. We have a vote for times are changing. Oh, looks like we have a tie. Something I said it is.
Why are you acting mad at me?
You know why. You drunk again? I told you. You ain't allowed in here. You've been drinking.
Hungover, maybe? Acid trip? Or clear as a bathroom mirror? Yes, tribe. We are died.
Well, I don't feel drunk. My brain's a little foggy.
What happened to your head?
I don't know. I woke up on the fire escape. I go into my apartment and everything is different. The street, Chelsea's newsstand, you. Everything is completely different. I mean, I don't know whether I'm tripping here or having a bad dream or something.
What's the last thing you remember before you woke up?
I don't know. Something with Chelsea.
Chelsea? What day do you think it is? No, hold on. What year do you think it is?
What year? Are you serious? It's 2043.
Oh, jeez. Look at that calendar. Over there, on the fridge.
2050. What the hell's going on here? Last night, Chelsea and I went to the Golden Pagoda.
I think the wording was very, very generic.
Oh, no!
What? It's me.
Look, somebody has stolen our car. I mean, here I am, my speeder's stolen out here. I'm sitting on a great... Ah!
Oi! Would you guys like a lift to the cop shop?
No, we'll walk.
He's really just trying to do us a favor.
Chelsea, I'm getting a really bad feeling about this. It's like some sort of deja vu.
The most exotic and exquisite exhibit of
with your mate?
Oh, that's Tex. He's having a very bad day.
That true, Tex?
Oh no, everything's just going peachy.
Well, things could get worse, huh?
He shot me. He shot both of us. He shot me. There's nothing. Why isn't there anything? That's what I'm trying to tell you, Mike. It wasn't last night. It was 7 years ago.
Oh no.
What the hell is that? Looks like you got injected with something. Maybe that's what's messing with your head. Maybe it's that goose egg. Either way, buddy, you gotta see a doctor.
I kind of want to know what happened to Chelsea. Oh, what does everybody think?
What about Chelsea? Where is she? I mean, is she okay?
You said to never say nothing about her. Never again.
That sounds very strange of us. Very strange indeed. You're right, Gozer, they probably did kill her.
Louis, I don't know what kind of bastard I turned into over these last 7 years, but this is me, Tex. You've got to tell me where Chelsea is. Louis, please tell me.
That night, you and Chelsea just disappeared. You showed up a few weeks later. You couldn't remember nothing then neither. But Chelsea, she never showed up.
This is strange. Well, now we have some really interesting choices here. See if we can figure out the criminally connected, investigate the head trauma we've dealt with, or have an overwhelming realization as to what's going on. This is peak audience participation. As we all act as shitty ASMR detectives together.
I hate doctors, but I guess I should go get this checked out and find out if there's anything seriously wrong.
You shouldn't be driving in your condition. I'll call you a cab.
It looks like we have some additional information we can get. So let's find out a little more about ourselves and our surroundings.
It sure is good to have the old mice back. I don't want to get all mushy, but I missed you, Mike.
I got a feeling that's a nice one for the fans, since Tex Murphy hasn't been a game in over 2 decades, I think.
We don't get too much of that stuff around here anymore. Cops have been good about cleaning things up. I got no idea who would have been doing the shooting or getting taken. Clint's done a real nice job, don't you think? Good to see the neighborhood getting fixed up.
Ah, I see. What about the ladders?
I don't got a ladder. You might want to check at the Golden Gate Hotel. They've been doing a bunch of renovations.
Ah, the Golden Gate Hotel.
I like that Archie fella. Real friendly. Don't always understand what he's talking about, but hey, different strokes for different folks, right?
3 cards to midnight.
Yeah, nice to have some fresh blood here on Chandler Avenue. Not really the kind of place I do a lot of shopping at, but some folks seem to like it fine. You know, I love Chelsea like she was my own daughter. I still miss her, even after all this time. I forget. You don't remember nothing about Taylor. She works for the Bay City Mirror, does a lot of investigations, and she's a real peach. Sweet, smart, funny. Yeah, I wasn't too happy that you and her were spending time together, but maybe she was seeing through all
He is
that
kind of wholesome.
guy stuff. She's good that way. Oh, me? I'm just the same as always. Just a little less of me than I used to be.
Let's find out about our memory loss.
I wish I could tell you everything you can't remember, but I don't know much. You and Chelsea went missing, and then you showed up out of nowhere a few weeks later. A couple of days after, you was gone again. I only saw you a few times after that. A couple of years went by, and then you came back, and something bad had happened to you. I don't know what, but it made you hard and mean, and you just got worse. Got to where I didn't even want you around anymore.
Hard facts. It hurts. It hurts.
I can't go to the North Hill Clinic. Not now. I need to investigate the crime scene to find out what happened before the police arrive.
Alright. Back to the crime scene. What's this? Ooh, what's this?
Lead pipes are always magically drawn to my skull like moths to the flame.
Yes. What? Is that a changeling? Okay, Robbie. You have a good night. It was great seeing you here on the ASMR dance floor. I hope to see you again soon.
That's an empty vial.
We will do our best to find more of the Mike and X comics. Is there anything back here, along with the PNG flame? Hey, what do you know?
Mike and Ike Hammer. Murder, my sweet. This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint.
Oh. That is good news.
Wow. This place really has been renovated. I guess that dumbbell Ardo must have come into some money. But as I walk to the counter, I suspect this place is under new management.
Welcome to the Golden Gate Hotel. How can I help you? Mr. Murphy?
Apparently we're dealing with Holly Graham. How should we introduce ourselves? Do we ask about the previous owner's establishment? Have a little bit of fond remembrance. Maybe start with a flattering comment. These are truly the tough questions of our age. Fond memories it is.
Last I heard, this place was condemned as a fire trap. When did you reopen?
Just a few months ago. It's part of the Mutant Neighborhoods Renewal Initiative. They just start recognizing as holograms.
Wait a minute. What? It's almost like we've done this before, guys. See, we got Flattering Comment and Happen. Well, since Robbie was usually the tiebreaker, I guess I'll be the tiebreaker, unless if someone else wants to pipe up real quick. Alright, I guess we'll find out what happened.
Did you know Ardo, the guy who worked here before? Whatever happened to that big, lovable moron?
Oh, sorry, Gundam.
Ardo
Next
Lee,
time.
California State Senator. Ran on a fire safety platform.
I see. Hello, Anime TV. Or, I'm sorry, I said your name wrong. Hello, Anime VT. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor. As we play as shitty ASMR detectives in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. So how should we approach this, guys? We have flattering comment or favorable comparisons. Okay. Gundam, I'll include your flattering comment from the last time. We'll include it for this one, so we'll try that one.
Wow. Service around here's gotten a lot better and a lot smarter.
No, thank you. The last time I tried that, you were all...
I'm a professional. Should be treated as such.
some self-righteous baloney like that. Management heard about it and I didn't get any time off for a month.
Oof. Not great. I hope you're doing well, Manami. I know you did the 12-hour stream yesterday, and it was quite taxing on you. I hope you get some rest and you're feeling a lot better now. Let's see what we got here. Does not compute. You've got the wrong guy. Or optional equipment. We have a vote for optional equipment. Optional equipment it is.
Well, I don't meet many button-activated women, although it'd be a great optional feature. What's your name?
You know very well who I am. Holly Graham. Cute, right? Intangibles just can't resist a pun.
Well, that's how it really be sometimes. Your ridiculous statement, spell check humor, or funny people. Alright, we have a tie between statement and spell check humor. We need a tiebreaker. ridiculous statement it is.
So what's with that sign? Holograms are people too.
So you can read. It's for the hologram rights movement.
You gotta be kidding
I
me.
hate to tell you this, but holograms aren't people. I don't know because I've dated a few.
That's exactly what they used to say about minorities, women, and mutants. It's our turn now. I'm officially on strike.
Wow. Wow. So where do we go from here, guys? Indeed, a lone tribe. Indeed. Obvious problems. The time has come. Or a little pep talk. Once again, we have a tiebreaker. Also, let me reset my playback real quick. I'm wondering if it's a little laggy. Oh, I see what you did there, Gundam. Very clever.
Well, I support you 100%. I believe everybody deserves equal treatment.
Really? You're the last person I thought I'd hear that from. Everyone in this neighborhood's afraid of you, you know.
Oh, really? It's very strange. Do we need to check the facts? I'm getting a feeling we need to check the facts, guys. What do you say? Yeah, I'm thinking we may need to check the facts. Mission complete. Plus respect.
Afraid I might not pay my bills, maybe. Speaking of the neighborhood, maybe you can help me by telling me what's been going on around here.
Sure. Though I should warn you, I don't get much.
Looks like we get to find out her points of views on these things.
Now that I know you support the hologram rights movement, I may have to reevaluate my opinion of you.
There you go. We did it, boys. We're in.
I heard gunshots, and then the speeder came flying out and took off. Well, it's no Golden Gate Hotel, is it?
It's really not. It even has that non-say-so room in there. But we don't talk about that.
We keep everything like that over at the Snow White warehouse.
The Snow White warehouse?
I think he came in one time with Mojo, the kid from the barbecue place. It was awkward.
Interesting.
Taylor's my bestie, my real friend. I don't know what she's doing with you. The nicest tangible I've ever met. Oh, you know me. Just a hologram. Here to serve my tangible oppressors.
Oof.
I've heard they keep a key or something to get inside the warehouse by the door.
Okay.
I should look around the hotel lobby and see if there's anything here that could help me out. When visiting Salt Lake, be sure to visit...
We found a key.
It's a key to a lockbox.
For a key to a locked box, we need to find a box full of locks.
Well, hopefully ballroom renovations include installing an actual ball pit.
Oh, I didn't think about that. He makes a very good point. That's why he's a detective.
Only guests of this hotel are allowed entrance through here.
Well, we did find a key. And I think that was for, what was it?
It's a key to a lockbox.
Alright, let's check the facts. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the last one was because that did sound helpful.
I'm pretty sure every one of your cases involves the Snow White warehouse somehow.
Wait, is that a euphemism? I can't tell in this game.
Yeah, needs a key.
Oh, oh ho. Off to work we go.
Yeah, needs a key.
Yeah, I know that. You ruined my timing. Oh no. They didn't tell us about this. Wait a minute. Why is there keys there, and then behind them are other offset keys? This doesn't seem right. Oh no, we suck again.
It's locked, and I need to find a way to open it.
Oh, it's the Llama Club.
It's closed. Most businesses on Chandler Avenue won't open until later.
Dang.
Good evening, ladies and germs. I'm your entertainer tonight, Mr. Franco Spinoza. I'm going to be playing some songs that I know you'll love. Listen to this one. Hot and cold, it's what it does to me. Hot and cold, the shower sprays on me. La la, hey, la la la, to hell with it.
That was not smooth jazz. It was not.
These dumpsters have housed various individuals over the years. Yeah, the Golden Gate Hotel was so famous they named a bridge after it.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's straight up facts, guys. Oh, the hot and cold song that was played earlier, or that we attempted to play. But it was not smooth jazz. There is nothing smooth about that jazz.
Another Mike and Ike Hammer candy comic. Tootsie Rolled.
Yes, we have to find the key code to enter the building. Oh, that's a long drop. Honestly, you didn't miss that much.
Every few years, someone gets the bright idea that this place should be preserved. Repairs are done for a few months, then the workers disappear when City Hall realizes what type of people really inhabit this place.
That sounds foreboding.
This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got a drink.
My nose has started sagging lately. Makes it hard to breathe. Now, what kind of info you looking for,
Oh, good. That ended. I think I'm gonna need a drink after that. I don't ever want to remember that again. That was not say-so. That was absolutely not say-so. Ah, thank you. I will get water. Damn. They brought my water bottle. Just like my heart. Off a cliff. What's with all these stairs? What is this, Metal Gear Solid 3? Ooh. That kind of makes you pucker a little bit.
Whoa. I wasn't always nervous about heights until my Under a Killing Moon case. I was trying to break into a luxury high-rise and slipped from the 32nd floor.
Looks like no one's home. This is gonna be easier than falling off a horse. This window doesn't want to open up. Maybe if I...
Oh no. This is terrible. How could...
Fortunately, I hit an awning before I hit the ground, but I didn't stop bouncing for about 30 minutes.
Oh. Wow. Interesting.
Coy Tower, once one of the great landmarks of the city, is now a broken down monument symbolizing the world that's passed us by.
A lot has happened to me. But honestly, half of it we don't really understand. But what we need to do now is we need to find out the key combination so we can get into the Snow White warehouse.
You know, I never actually see anyone working on this street.
Do not touch that circus peanuts. I've seen things. Chad has seen things. I don't think those rails are up to OSHA standards. No, it's all good. It's all good, Alone Tribe. Trust me. I wouldn't want to relive that again. Is there anything else over here that we can discover?
Wheelwell car? Classic.
Maybe we should go around with a flashlight. It may help us spot something of importance.
It's the old Savant School. That had a short tenure here on Chandler Avenue. Lots of impressive graduates, though.
I got a feeling I know who these graduates are from. Very clever game. Very clever.
This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint.
We found another Mike and Ike's.
It's a Mike and Ike Hammer Candy comic. Licorice Rope. This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint.
The stream froze for you. That's not good. How about everybody else? Did the stream froze for them too? Oh, it's back. That's good.
Chelsea's newsstand is completely abandoned. I need to find out what happened to Chelsea.
What is this?
Sad to say, many robots and cyborgs end up down here. They get hooked on old Chihuahua motor oil, and they stumble down here looking for a fix until their lights fade out.
No, not old Chihuahua. I've heard of this stuff. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Inspector Burns finally opened his own barbecue joint. I bet it tastes just like arson in your mouth.
Interesting.
Being part of a historical landmark is not really helping my midlife crisis. Now that's a handsome devil. Wait a minute. Arrival PI. Oh man, how did this happen?
Oh, not great.
It's locked. I won't be able to enter without proper identification.
Oh, gonna need a card. I will not buy you a bottle of old Chihuahua. It's not good for your health.
It's the sewer to Chandler Avenue, and I never go in there unless I really, really have to. It's a Mike and Ike Hammer Candy comic, The Sweet and Sour Lady. I'll put this in my comic book rack back at the office.
Speaking of which, let's go back to the office real quick. Perhaps collecting all these Mike and Ike comics will lead to something. We have 8 collected so far.
I hope to collect all of the Mike and Ike Hammer comics and place them here. It's one of my business cards, but it looks different. When did I change these? Looks like somebody's wiped my computer clean.
I sure don't remember how these holes...
Oh, man. My Richie Havens signature guitar signature disappeared. That'll teach me to get an autograph with a dry erase marker.
Oof.
Archie Ellis wrote a book. I bet this sells for pennies on eBay. PI rules are for sissies. I've been able to achieve a certain level of success ignoring all the rules of my business.
Same.
On Saturday nights, I push the furniture to the walls and cut loose on the dance floor. It's the Wardenclyffe Tower, a Nikola Tesla invention. Whoa, it's a picture of me at my office. Someone's been spying on me from the top floor of the electronic. It's a note from my old friend Archie Ellis. Apparently he's out of town doing some research. When he returns, I'll need to ask him about the case we're working on.
Yes, this is our place. Trying to figure out what's our next move. Perhaps we can go somewhere. Not quite.
The Ritz is the fire trap I call home.
I wonder.
Well, this is a flashy new neighbor.
Nothing. Oh, that is a very interesting point. You bring up alone. What is this?
Archie helped me out on my Pandora directive case where we met a charming fellow named Jackson Cross.
I'm gonna do you the favor of a lifetime. I'm gonna let you walk. But if I catch you meddling in NSA affairs one more time, I'm gonna put a bullet right in your eyeball. Is that clear? Get this pukehead out of my office. I'll be watching you, Murphy.
Man, I thought this would have ended up in the Andes Mountains. Ricard's at Midnight isn't open right now. I'll have to try back later.
Is there any way we can try it back later? Now?
Only guests of this hotel are allowed entrance through here.
Perhaps if we can talk too.
Hey, Tex. How's your case progressing?
Okay.
I've heard they keep a key or something to get inside the warehouse by the door.
Okay. So that was the key. Thank you, Alone Tribe, for the posture check. Shitty ASMR detectives think alike. So somewhere near the door here is the key. Oh, look at that.
What do we got here? It's like instructions to get into the Snow White warehouse. we got here? It's like instructions to get into the Snow White
4268. Look at us go. No, I don't like the look of that.
Wow, is this still here? I used this to deal with a cunning criminal on my Under a Killing Moon case who had a bad case of bozophobia.
It's me, Rusty Kids, and I'm here. Mommy's come back.
I heard he had my name tattooed on his knuckles, and he wants to show me firsthand when he gets out of prison. I'm not really looking forward to that.
What the hell was that, guys? What the hell?
Some familiar names on the Chandler Avenue sex offender list.
Scary Larry. That sounds scary.
Yep, that's the Snow White warehouse.
Don't let it smell your fear.
Looks like an interesting read.
Tex Murphy has uncovered the greatest secret in the history of the world, and there were some who would stop at nothing to protect.
Looks like an interesting read.
What the hell was that? Oh, it was the ladder. The answer to that question that goes to is yes.
Now that I have a ladder, I can get into the second floor of the electronics shop.
Let's make sure to save again. Need more water. More water.
Nice graffiti art. That's not right.
Water. Water.
Yeah, Louis once told me these rooms were used by bootleggers and smugglers during Prohibition. There were hidden panels in rooms where they'd hide their stash.
Oh, what do we have here?
Someone's been spying on the citizens of Chandler Avenue.
What the hell is this? What? Oh. I don't remember that one. Do you guys remember that one? I think I screwed myself on that one. Ah, that one. Oof. What was that? Oh.
Don't shoot.
Following our first lead, and we get ourselves caught in a laser net. All in a day's work, right?
Smart Alex had a point, but I wasn't going to let him have the satisfaction of knowing so. There was one good thing about spending hours stuck in a laser net. You got time to think. Who is this guy? Who killed him? And what kind of surveillance was he doing right across from my apartment? And what's in the metal canister? Have 7 years really passed without me remembering it? Is it related to my head injury or the injection mark on my arm?
Is he dead?
Well, I think you missed a hell of a party.
Party?
Yeah, you're here in time for the laser show.
I wouldn't do that. I was here to meet Carlos Maldonado. Is that you? Or him?
Look, I just stumbled onto this little nightmare, and I need to find out who this guy was and what he was doing. I'm a PI, and I assume this guy is Maldonado. My name's Murphy. Who are you?
Mason said Maldonado was a PI. Were you working with Mason too?
I'll be honest. I don't know if I was working for Mason or not. Actually, I'm having severe memory problems here, so anything you can tell me about Maldonado or Mason or what's in the cryo chamber here would be greatly appreciated.
I think I set off an alarm when I came in here. I don't usually do this kind of thing. I was just trying to help Mason. He said, come in here, find the PI, get the cryo chamber, and keep it safe.
Wait a minute, guys.
Hey, I found
Is
that
it just
first.
me?
Slow learner.
Or is that the Frankenstein man?
Find Mason. I think he's in big trouble with bad people. I don't know why. He's a neurologist, for God's sake. But you have to promise me that if I let you go, you won't come after me. You'll find Mason.
Oh, I promise. My fingers are so frozen I can't cross them.
If your memory problems are part of all this, Mason is the only one who can help you. So you need to find him and bring him back safe just as much as I do. I'll be in contact soon.
Man, those cops are getting close, but I don't want to leave this place without a clue. I better hurry up and find something before they get here. And that might come in handy. I'll need to find a computer whiz to break the encryption on this memory stick.
Ah, a computer whiz.
Strictly speaking, I would never encourage anyone to break the law, but those sirens are getting awfully close, and a life sentence for a machine can last a very long time. So move!
This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move. This equipment is surveying several different locations, including my office. Someone knows what I've been up to. This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move. Not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. Yeah, tough break, hombre.
We don't need to get Callie on the case. We have Detective Soul on the case.
That's a damn shame. This guy was working diligently to get a free sub at Inspector Burns' barbecue. Someone needs to update their poster collection. Prohibition ended 100 years ago. Oh, I was anti-hibition myself. A business card from a rival detective? What the hell? As I try to make my great escape down the ladder, I find two officials waiting to greet me.
Great. Just what I needed.
Hello, boys.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy, what were you doing in there?
Well, it's a little hard to
Oh, you know the drill.
I was really trying to get my hands on that surveillance equipment. Maybe I could see exactly what happened to me. Now the only way I'll find it is if New San Francisco's finest decides to play ball with me. I don't know why they'd start now, but I'd better polish up on the old Murphy charm.
Whether you're a mutant or a North, San Francisco is our home. Be a part of the solution to crime. If you see something suspicious, please report it to the SFPD immediately.
Yes, we're going to horny jail.
Make it quick, Murphy. I got about a million things to do. And wasting time on you ain't one of them.
Didn't take you long to get in trouble, did it? You here to turn yourself in?
We have more decisions. So what should we do here? Should we prod him a little for climbing the ranks? Tell him that he's pretty much getting nowhere? Or at least show him the common courtesy? Me personally, I think we should show him a little common courtesy since our freedom seems to be in his hands.
First of all, no. And second of all, Danwich, you know me. You didn't have to send your goons down to get me. If you wanted me to come down, just ask me.
I'm surprised you remember me.
Oh, really? I'm wondering if we should use familiar faces on him or go for the endorsement deal. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think we should go for the deal too.
Danwich? Are you kidding me? Rhymes with manwich? And manwiches are unbelievably delicious.
In case you didn't get the memo, I head up the department now. And things aren't as loosey-goosey as they were under Malden.
Should we play him a compliment? Or should we get a little personal? I don't know if pressing information about Chelsea is such a good idea right now, given our predicament.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Malden did like his goosies a little loosey. So why is it you think I came down here to turn myself in?
Well, we just found you at a crime scene with a dead body. That dead body happens to be Carlos Maldonado, a PI working the same neighborhood as you. Is that your way of intimidating the competition?
I wonder what we should do about this.
Seems a little extreme to me. Flyers and discount coupons have always worked much better for me.
I was just reviewing your file when you came in.
Is that a lot? 'Cause it looks like a lot.
August 2047. Beek Nariz.
Oh, no.
NSFPD informant.
It's him again.
Beaten and hospitalized after providing information about Tex Murphy. Nariz refuses to identify his assailant. No charges ever filed. November 2048. Surveillance video shows suspected extortionist Jen Lee leaving the Golden Pagoda with Tex Murphy, never to be seen again. The case remains unsolved. Shall I go on? In the past few years, you've gained quite a reputation for yourself. You've got New San Francisco's criminal underbelly running scared.
Well, maybe we can have him look on the bright side of things. Things do seem a little cleaned up around here.
You're a cop. Isn't that the way you like your criminal underbellies?
We arrest criminals so they can be tried in a court of law. We don't just kill them, and I won't tolerate vigilantism. If you didn't kill Maldonado, what were you doing then?
Investigating. I'm an investigator. And part-time dance instructor. Perhaps a helpful idiom will help us through the situation.
Well, I'm drawn to laser nets like a moth to the flame. I followed the trail and saw that Maldonado had surveillance equipment aimed at my office. I want to find out what he recorded.
cares what he recorded? If you're such an upstanding citizen, you've got nothing to hide, right?
What kind of answer is that? Sorry about that. Well, how about now? We have dirty little secrets. Come on, and strange bedfellows.
Right. You're not going to check inside my toilet tank, are you?
I don't even think you're joking about that. You're free to go, Murphy. For now. Any questions?
More information.
I'm not sure what to think of you, Murphy.
Likewise.
I have no evidence of an abduction. Just a dead body and only one person of interest. It might be in your best interest if you could find out what happened. That whole neighborhood seems to attract more than its fair share of trouble. As far as the coroner and the commissioner were concerned, finding Chelsea's remains in your speeder were enough to pronounce her legally dead. She's an investigative reporter at the Bay City Mirror, one of the less obnoxious ones. I know Maldonado was a dirtbag, but unless it's in self-defense, killing somebody, even a dirtbag, is a crime and will be prosecuted. I'm not allowed to let you see it.
That encrypted memory stick probably has some useful information on it.
Oh, great advice. If you could help me break it, then I'd be impressed. Guess I'll have to see if anyone else on the street can break it for me.
Oh, what do you know? Looks like it's early enough in the morning to go to Rook's Pawn. I got a feeling we'll be able to break it there.
Rook's the little gremlin who runs the pawn shop. I've heard that his hard shell is hiding a heart of gold. But if it was, he'd cut it out himself with a rusty soup can lid.
Murphy! Here, let me look at you. Louis told me something terrible has happened. I've been worried sick.
No touchy-feely. We can get a quick update from him. Or go on as the way we were. What do you say?
Well, I appreciate the concern, but other than a weird case of amnesia.
But Louis says you're behaving like a totally different person.
Perhaps if we act like the way we were, we'll be able to get some info on him.
Since when do you care about what happens to me? Don't tell me your little Grinch heart has grown 3 sizes in the last 7 years.
Oh, Lord. Please don't tell me that lump on your head has turned you back into the pathetic, pestering PI I used to know. This is a nightmare.
Interesting. Perhaps a little sarcastic sympathy to throw the shot back at him. Hello, Ryoga Hibiki. It's a pleasure to see you again. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor as we play as shitty ASMR detectives in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. Alright, let's go for some sarcastic sympathy.
I'm sorry, Rook. I can only imagine how hard this is for you.
It's temporary, though, right? A side effect? Please tell me you'll be changing back.
By the way, Ryoga, is Ryoga Hibiki the full name of Ryoga's name from Ranma 1/2? It's been bugging me for the past day. It sounds like that's his name from Ranma 1/2, but I'm not 100% sure. I know his name is Ryoga at least. So here's the funny thing, Ryoga Hibiki. This game is a successful Kickstarter game that came out in 2019, which is a continuation of an old full motion video adventure series called Tex Murphy that came out in the 90s. It's basically the latest in a series that's over 2 decades old, and the funny thing is that they have the original actors that was in the original games reprising his role as Tex Murphy. Okay, terrific. By the way, Ryoga, let me know if you ever catch up to Akane, and if she'll ever recognize you. But then again, you have to follow the right directions in order to find her first, I believe.
Hold on. Are you telling me the Tex I turned into was not pathetic and pestering? Those are my secret weapons.
Look, Murphy, I'll grant you have some detective skills, but it was all relentless, annoying banter and endless questions to me. Imagine my surprise when, over the past few years, you turned into someone I could actually tolerate.
Perhaps will sweeten the deal, convince him with the 10 things you love about me. That's right. You can't stamp for her if you can't find her. Very true words. Very true words.
No kidding. So what was it you loved most about the new me?
You cut out all the chit-chat and became a no-nonsense customer who pays in cash. You always seem to have plenty of cash.
That seems to be an unfavorable comparison to me, but that could be just the facts as well.
Okay, I'll cut the chit-chat. Just tell me where I come up with all this cash.
All my transactions are done in strictest confidence. That hasn't changed.
But it was literally for me, wasn't it? Why wouldn't you tell me how I've been making my money?
I'm having a few rough days here, Rook. All I'm trying to do is get my memory back. I could use a little help.
Fine. Though I don't know anything that could possibly explain what's happened to you. Believe me, I'd tell you if I did. Now, I suppose this is where you ask if I mind answering a few questions, but this is not for old time's sake.
Ah.
You became a sullen, short-tempered bully, and I miss that desperately. I heard a commotion and saw a crazed man running willy-nilly down the street and two other men in pursuit.
Hello, Daystart. It's a pleasure to see you here. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor, as we all band together to be shitty ASMR detectives in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. Right now, we're getting the straight from the local dealer on a lot of things that we have in our mind.
I was hoping they would tear that flop house down, and they would have too if it weren't for that meddling Clint. Such an upbeat, chipper little man. Utterly obnoxious. I went there once, never again. What with that herbal tea and incense, it's a veritable gas chamber. Oof. I knew she'd get nothing but trouble being with you. Louis' niece is an absolute delight. What she sees in you is an absolute mystery.
Okay, Lone Tribe. It was a pleasure to have you here on the dance floor. You get plenty of sleep. Hope to see you again later. Yes, viewer count helps big time. The more people that watch my viewer count, or I should say, if my viewer count is high enough, my video will reach the top of the charts for the specific tags and the game that's associated with it. So if I have more than enough people watching, it'll put my video at the top of the recommendations for people searching for videos, which means more clicks, more people visiting, and overall, once the stream is done, more people getting a chance to watch my videos and having higher views overall. So yes, if you have a chance to leave the stream on as a lurk, I would appreciate that, but only if you can.
A prince among men makes me wish I could still eat solid food.
Well, that sounded concerning.
Years ago, after Chelsea disappeared, you came to me looking for leads to some valuable items, among them a lost Fabergé egg. You left the street for a long time. When you returned to Chandler Avenue, you seemed like a different person, darker, more dangerous. I understand you have a thing for holograms. Maybe she's just your type. I'm sure you know much more about that than I. Some say you know exactly what happened. That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me. What is that?
That's a memory stick.
Maldonado? He puts the PI in pig. I heard you two had something of a rivalry going on.
Yes, that's the charm of this game. It harkens back to the old 90s adventure titles, where some of them were full motion video. Tex Murphy here is one of those series. This game is actually a Kickstarter game that resurrected the series. Released in 2019, I believe. Surprisingly enough, they got some of the original actors from the original series to reprise their roles.
Why would I know anything about that? If the police confiscated it, I suggest you talk to the police about it.
No, these are real-life actors in full motion video.
Next question.
Now that Rooks is open, I'll bet his back gate's open too.
Oh, That's actually a good point. Let's go back there. Yes, this series is delightfully cheese. What the hell is this?
It's Rook's hydropod garden. Whenever I see this, I think of Gordon Fitzpatrick from my Pandora case.
Oh gosh.
I've got anti-hydrogen pods on board, and I've got to get us as far away from Earth as possible. Pods?
Okay, you see this video right here? I believe this is actually full motion video from the earlier
He
games.
wasn't from around here, or even from the solar system.
I believe a lot of these full motion videos that they show in low resolution are actually from the older games. This game is basically a walking time machine for the Tex Murphy franchise, which, by the way, is available on Steam. Detective Soul is on the case.
That's Rook's pawn shop. I didn't know there was that much polyester left in the world.
Did I miss something?
Why would a little gremlin like Rook have a basketball hoop?
That's a good point.
Ah, yes. Llama Claus would bring packs of cigarettes to all the good children around the world.
That's pretty good advertising. I must say so myself. What's this anvil doing here?
Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. What's this? Well, it's not a Banksy. No one knows these back alleys of Chandler quite like me. These dumpsters have housed various individuals over the years. It's always nice to know I'll have a place to go if I can't make rent.
I wonder if I can go back up here.
Nice graffiti art.
So we have an anvil now. I wonder what we can use that anvil for. I think I know what we can use the anvil for, guys. Up there were those secured saves on the bottom floor. If we take the anvil and we drop it from the top floor, it might be able to break open those saves. We can find out what's inside them. Yeah, these things. Or maybe not. I could just be full of it. Who knows?
Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. That's a small wheel.
Oh, I know we can do this.
What crime against humanity have you created?
Zipline trolley's repaired. Now we need to find the perfect place to zipline.
I wonder what it is we can find. Oh, the electronic shop is now open.
Rumor is Zach Williams, owner of the electronics shop, is tied to organized crime. But we've had our problems in the past. For example, the last time I was here, he shot my credit card into 1,000,000 pieces. I'm hoping he's in a little better humor today and doesn't blow my brains out, or even worse.
Okay, I don't want any trouble.
We may have an outstanding debt we have to pay. Or maybe we can use a little history lesson as to what's going on. Or figure out if we're on the same page. I think if we do a little history lesson, that'll help.
Well, that makes two of us. Last time I was here, you shot my credit. Literally.
Why you keep hassling me about that? That was years ago. I paid back all those interest charges. Plus interest.
Ooh, interest charges plus interest? We should give him a good Yelp review.
You did? Well, I must say, customer service has gotten considerably better around here.
Everyone knows what happens to people who get on your bad side. Only one reason you ever come in here, and it ain't to buy anything. You know all our stuff is junk.
Hello, Saki Ichigo. It's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor as we play as shitty detective ASMR detectives in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. You have a happy Sunday and a happy Valentine's Day to you too, buddy. Now, what should we choose here, chat? Should we investigate to what's going on? Maybe suggest a rebranding? Or suggest probably poor management?
Is that the new electronic shop slogan? I mean, it's no wonder you're not getting any new business.
Why you busting my chops? You know what kind of business we're running here.
I think in order to make this run a little faster, whoever types in the very first suggestion on where to go next, that'll be the first one that I go with.
I just want to know what's going on upstairs.
Look, the guys upstairs don't want any trouble either. They said you can have whatever you want at cost. You can even put it on credit. Then I'll just tear up the bill.
Very, very strange development here. Will we not get fooled again? Maybe an architect joke. Or dead men tell no tales.
Oh, I'm not talking about your bosses. I'm talking about the guy upstairs, the, dead one.
Look, I know how much you hated Maldonado, and I probably shouldn't have let him use the second floor. But he was paying cash, and he kept a low profile. So I thought it was all good. I didn't know what he was doing up there, and I didn't want to know.
Hello, Nectree. Pleasure for you to be here. Welcome to the smooth jazz ASMR dance floor as we play as shitty ASMR detectives together in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. Now, how should we go through this chat? Intimidation tech it is.
Well, let's see what kind of useful information I can get out of you before I try jogging your memory.
Let's find out some information, shall we? That's what detectives do, after all. Quietly. Because if you're not quiet, the evidence may run away.
You the man, okay? We good? Look, I told the cops I wasn't here, which is technically true. I just parked out back when I heard the gunshots, so I just started the engine right back up and got the hell out.
Yes, Nectree, Onisol is on the case.
You live there, so I'm not gonna say a thing about it. That place opened up a couple of months ago. Doesn't look like my kind of joint. I do love Luton's cooking. Just don't ask what's in it and you'll be fine. All I know is you ain't the same guy that came slinking in here 7 years ago. Sorry to hear about that. Is that what turned you into Mr. Badass? I think he's the one who came by to check in on Maldonado. Must have been a client. Don't know anything else about him. I sell items to customers, not purchase them. Sure, Maldonado was a creep, but his money spent just the same. He said he needed to do a stakeout of the Ritz. Didn't mention any specific names. Didn't sound like a big deal, and he was offering a good chunk of change. I saw him bring in some cameras, so he must have been recording the surveillance. But whatever he had got confiscated by the cops. Let's just leave me out of this, okay?
By the way, everybody, I just want to point out what he's wearing here. This hat is called a Tribly. It's a Tribly. Stop calling it a fedora. This is not a fedora. This is a Tribly. Fedoras are amazing. Humphrey Bogart wore a fedora, and Humphrey Bogart was amazing. internet miladies wear triblies and they're not as cool. Please stop calling them fedoras. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Am I proud of you yet, Gozu? You may have to explain. Maldonado wanted to see if the Ritz Hotel really gave out a box of Rick's crackers to the guests inside their rooms. Is that true? Or are you just pulling my leg? Ah, these places are still closed. Ah, looks like the bellhop is here.
As I ring the bell, I expect Nilo, but another familiar face pops up from behind the counter. It's Clint. Looks like he's dabbled in some home plastic surgery to cover his empty eye socket. It's amazing what you can do with a tire patch, spray paint, and crazy glue.
Ah, yes, Gozu. You truly are
Mr.
a detective.
Will you be needing some housekeeping done? I can't remember the last time we saw you around here.
Is that a fact? I don't know how to feel about this. Perhaps we should update the clerk as to what is going on.
Yeah, me neither. Don't know if you heard, but I had a little blackout.
I used to get brownouts. Louis' chocolate pie damn near put me in a coma every time.
Previous owner, bring up the addiction, or cuckoo for coca, as he's a recovered chocoholic.
So, where is Nilo? You haven't had to resort to working with that scumbag, have you?
Nilo, man, I haven't heard that name in years. Not since I bought this place from him. The city was gonna condemn it, but Nilo didn't feel like fixing it up, so he sold it real cheap.
Where'd he go? Did he go out of business? Maybe a hobby? Let's ask where he had gone.
Where did Nilo end up?
You mean Nellie? He got a sex change. Yeah, I don't know. He tried to pass himself off as his long-lost twin sister for a while, but that didn't fly.
Interesting. Perhaps the ladder of success.
Well, you've done a bang-up job. You got rid of the smell. What was that, anyway?
You do not want to know. God, I wish I could get amnesia for that memory. But on the bright side, we've exterminated most of the roaches and reinforced the foundation after the big quake last year. And finally got real fire extinguishers, so no more painted-on safety features. We're up to a 3-star cubic zirconia rating in the Mutant Leisure blog spot now.
Oh, that sounded pretty good, actually. Should we get a little nitpicky? Perhaps enter into some venture capitalism? Or maybe a second home?
Three cubic zirconias, huh? Out of how many possible?
Well, they're not really clear about that, but it is an upgrade. It's mostly thanks to you, my #1 tenant. You pay up front, I always throw in a little extra to make sure I keep an extra eye on your place.
I see what you did there. However, I don't think you were able to see the same. Side puns. Hmm. Mathlete, maybe? Or maybe a nice surprise.
So I'm not behind on my rent? Maybe I should get amnesia more often.
You pay through the end of the year, just like every year. You hardly ever hear these days, but hey, let me get my nose out of your business. That's disgusting. Let's change the subject. What can I do for you?
Oh, looks like we got a lot to ask him.
You keep being my best tenant, and I'll be your biggest fan. Deal? The cops came by to ask me about that, but I wasn't here. This may not be much, but it's mine. I love it. Nice guy, but he's got some screws loose. Dumbest name ever for a shop. Just get the holes patched before you move out, or I will keep your security deposit.
But I want my $20 back.
Look, I know I used to joke with you about Chelsea being in love with me, but that was just my jealousy talk. That's Louis' niece, right? Tall, brunette. Oh. I've got to steer clear of his diner. Too many chocolate memories. Look, I've had my own problems, as you know. I was in a kind of a dark place 7 years ago. Dark, bitter, sometimes nuts, raisins. God help me, marshmallows.
Oh, this guy might have a relapse.
Nice girl for circuits and chips. We don't need to talk about that, do we? That was a real tragedy. I can't help you with that. I can barely work a toaster. Maldonado? Nothing but trouble. I steer clear of that on the way. Maldonado was spying on you? Are you sure it was you? That little gremlin's never forgiven me for stealing his newspapers and using them as blankets. That guy's all mobbed up, so I keep my distance. Me? I'm just living the dream. One chocolate-free day at a time.
Well, this is a flashy new neighbor.
Perhaps something had changed.
Yeah, needs a key.
The key we don't have. Oh, maybe this will work.
Well, that was stupid.
I mean, it was worth a shot. I think that's the joke, Gozu. Perhaps Maldo's license acts as a keycard as well.
Well, that was stupid. I'll need to find a computer whiz to break the encryption. Nice to meet you, Maldonado. Zipline trolley's repaired. Now we need to find the perfect place to zipline. It's closed. Most businesses on Chandler Avenue won't open until later. It's like a... Well, that won't work.
Actually, perhaps we can use this at the other building. Maybe his license will also act as a key card. You never know. And we are detectives.
The police have been here and set up a SFOPAD security system. What the hell is that?
Well, that was sooner than I expected. Next time, try destroying the SFO pad before entering Meldondo's office.
Oh shit. We got killed, guys. Oh. Apparently we lost points.
Oh, it's a security drone. If I enter its line of sight, I'm toast.
Perhaps this is where we can use the trusty anvil. Poggers.
Wow, nothing is so simple and wonderfully effective as blunt force trauma.
True story.
It's locked. I won't be able to enter without proper identification.
Here's your proper identification.
Wow, a place even sleazier than yours. And you have an animal print bedspread.
Don't remind me, please.
hotel postcards. Maldonado must make his living spying on cheating spouses. It's the only roach hotel where you have a better chance of survival inside than outside. I prefer Weenie World's tater tots. Amateur.
Hello?
Could I speak to Carlos? Tex?
Sorry, we met?
That woman knew me, but hung up quickly when she realized I didn't know her.
If we can find her, maybe we could get some answers.
She must have visited Chandler while she was doing business with Maldonado. Maybe someone around here will recognize the photo. Larry Hammond wasn't really a mutant.
Then what was he?
I wanted to make sure you came here alone.
Well, I hope you were more careful about being followed than I was.
Yeah, I have a very strong sense of self-preservation. I even brush my teeth carefully.
Yeah, it shows.
Man, he sure looked like one.
Ah.
It's the depressed man's kitchen. What's this?
Ah. Our next clue. The Llama Club security key.
Yeah, at least he had filing cabinets. Both Maldonado and I appreciate subtle storytelling techniques. Maybe we could have been friends, if you were alive. Both Maldonado and I appreciate subtle storytelling techniques. Maybe we could have been friends. Emily? Oh, man. I hope she's doing this to get through school.
Not say so.
Larry Llama? I loved that guy when I was a kid.
Wow, that's dedication. The Llama cigarette actually smokes.
Cigarettes. Yummy.
The air outside feels thick, like I'm breathing through a pair of dirty gym socks. It's a high radiation day. Most everyone will be staying inside, but I need to hunt for some work. I always like to start the day with the traditional PI breakfast. That hits the spot.
Hello, Kamorikayo. Welcome to the dance floor. The smooth jazz ASMR dance floor. As you probably know, this is me playing a shitty ASMR detective in Tesla Effect, a Tex Murphy adventure. You don't need to whisper if you don't want to, but you're welcome to. Let us be shitty ASMR detectives together. What? What is this? Simulator under repair. Please do not play. You're not my mom. I do what I want. see a flaw in this plan. Oh gosh, no. We did this already. No. 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 How do I stop this? Oh gosh. No. No. Okay. I was about to have a relapse all over again. For true golf. Driving reality. Right in my forehead. Thank you, Gundam, for the posture check. So wait a minute. Was that seriously all? Maybe there's something on the first floor.
The Clean Air Act was abolished after it was ruled irrelevant due to post-World War III fallout. Nice cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat. Is that a clue?
Nice cowboy hat. The Clean Air Act was a... Wow, this would match my bedspread perfectly. I wonder where they got it.
The plot thickens. I'm not really sure what else we can do in here. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot we can do. Maybe there was something else in here we missed. Yep, that thing is still creepy. Oh. I guess we got what we needed. Oh, we have a message.
This message is for Mr. Tex Murphy. Storm clouds are brewing. Are you with the White Russians or against us? A White Guard member is close. Prove your loyalty, and we will reveal the truth.
What the heck was that? There must be another Tex Murphy in the phone book.
Very strange. Very strange indeed. Still the same.
Well, I had this door permanently sealed as it opened directly into my bedroom. People thought that was awfully presumptuous of me.
Well, guys, what do you think? Any more leads? I'm trying to think of what our next move will be. Well, if you really want to go, Sue, I won't stop you.
If this woman has been doing business with Maldonado, maybe someone else on Chandler Avenue will recognize her.
Ah. Time to question around. Let's ask old Rook over here.
As I made it perfectly clear, your status as a paying customer earns you a modicum of goodwill. I suggest you use it judiciously.
Sorry, you lost me at modicum. Look, answer a few questions for me and I won't kick your butt when I get my memory back.
Thank you. Thank you, Gundam, for the 100 bits. All in a day's work, as shitty as them are detectives.
At least he knows how to keep his mouth shut.
Oof.
Like I always say, you can take a bomb out of a dumpster, but you'll never get a dumpster out of a bomb. Lovely. Oh, she may have come by here. I can't be sure.
Alright, let's go check everyone else out.
Not again. You're gonna get me fired. Or worse. That guy's a go-getter. Why don't you get him to answer these questions? That's a fine piece of humanity there. She stopped by the other day and checked out our selection. Took her about 2 seconds to realize it was all crap. So she seemed to know her stuff.
Interesting.
Hey, what can I do for you, Mike?
Oh, we got quite the amount of new evidence coming through.
That Holly is a real spitfire. I don't know how I feel about the whole holograms of people too thing, but yeah, why not? I can't really talk about that. If she died the way the cops said she did, burned inside your speeder, it's just too much to think about. I keep a little hope that maybe she ain't dead at all. Or at least that maybe she died in a more peaceful way. I'm no good with that computer stuff, but that little fella at the barbecue joint is a whiz. I'll bet he could get you taken care of.
Okay, Gozu. You have a good night. It's a pleasure seeing you on the dance floor, buddy. You take care.
You wouldn't remember him. He moved into the neighborhood a few years back. Not a pleasant man. I'll leave it at that. So that so-and-so was spying on you. You and I wasn't real close, so I couldn't say why he'd been doing that. Yeah, same old ornery cuss he ever was. Don't bother me none. I guess I'm just used to it. Zach don't come in here a whole lot. I guess he don't like my food much. That Clint's really come up in the wild. Though I still hide the chocolate cake when he drops by. I don't want him falling back into his, old ways. I might have seen this lady in here not long ago. Didn't catch a name.
Nobody seems to really remember this person except that she has been around.
Haven't had another food joint on the street since Francesca ran the Slice of Heaven. I thought it might cut into my business some, but not so far. Maybe we just don't have a lot of barbecue eaters around here.
always happy to help out my best tenant. I know for a fact I've never seen this fox before, because if I had, she'd be my lady love. I haven't tried it. They say that the sauce will melt your eyeballs, and that's a risk I'm just not willing to take.
I'm starting to run out of leads here. Oh, shit. Now she's on strike.
Holly must be out on strike. I'd better come back later to talk to her.
I have now officially run out of leads. Nobody knows who this dame is. And the clock is slowly striking down. Looks like there's people in the joint eating. Maybe we can get in and ask some questions.
As I step into Inspector Burns' barbecue, I think I'm having a stroke. But no, burning toast is their special today. Behind the counter is the kid who Louis referred me to as the computer whiz.
Welcome to Inspector Burns' barbecue. My name is Mojo. Special today is chili con carnage. It'll destroy your hunger as well as your taste buds. Order when you're ready.
We can start off with a name pun. Perhaps even a fairy tale pun. Or inquire into the culinary colonoscopy. What do you think, Chad? How should we roll the dice here?
Miami Vice, a ham, cheese, and habanero corn dog, deep fried and wrapped in bacon. Does that come with a free colonoscopy?
Hey, you're Tex Murphy.
And you're Mojo. What a shagadelic name, baby, yeah!
My real name is Mordecai Josephus.
Are you serious? Well, that's my real name, too.
No way!
Yeah, well, it's pretty close. It's actually Tiberius, James Tiberius. And my mom, she starts to call me Tibby. And, well, I had to come up with something that I could live with.
The ultimate Tex Murphy trivia. You just made my day. Look, I don't mean to geek out on you here, but you're Tex Murphy. Badass private eye. Man out of time. Always quick with a joke or his fist. What are you doing in a dump like this?
I guess this guy knows what he's talking about. He's clearly on the up and up. So now that we're here, how do we get there? Do we state the obvious? Do we do the exterminator? Or do we hit him where it hurts? So far I'm liking this guy. I don't think we should hit anything.
Well, I wanted to find out what was incinerating all the cockroaches.
Nice. Classic Tex Murphy.
Should we continue to go to monologue with some more wordplay? Maybe do some multitasking? Or just cut to the chase and strike a deal? Let's cut a deal.
I'll tell you what. You buy me lunch? I'll call it even.
Oh, you don't want to eat here. The food really will burn your face off. Inspector Burns is a bitter, bitter man. So, what are you working on? Wait, let me guess. Some kind of case just dropped in your lap. Seems like a small-time job, but there are tons of loose ends leading in all kinds of directions, and you are blindly getting nowhere.
Interesting. It's like he's played this game before. It's a pretty good guess. Maybe a little close to the vest. Tagline just doesn't seem appropriate right now. And of course you want him to give him the tagline. Of course you would, Gundam. Of course.
Nice try. But this time it isn't a case. It's a person.
I could help you.
Perhaps there is an opening now? Yeah. Let's go for the opening.
Well, I could use a good caterer.
You are killing me. Look, Mr. Murphy, you fancy yourself as sort of a timeless classic, a PI archetype for the ages. You know your way around the crime scene, but it's no secret that you're not so good at high-tech gadgets. That's where I come in.
Yeah. He's definitely played this game before. Perhaps we should just straight up go for admission, cut to the chase.
Fine. I have a fax machine, for God's sake. I barely know how to use that.
Whatever I can do, just let me know.
Alright, let's start with the inquiring.
I just can't believe I got a chance to meet my idol.
Yeah. We need to make this guy the official mod of the fan club.
Me and Archie are buds. So glad Archie opened up his shop here. He's like a god at all this conspiracy stuff. Chelsea Bando. The Nora to your Nick. I wish I could have met her. Inspector Burns has tried to torch the Bruin stew at least twice.
Wow, this Inspector Burns, I'm surprised he's still running a shop here.
Sometimes I spend hours just thinking about what kind of baby she and I would have together.
Whoa. Bruh. Bruh.
Sorry you lost her, but man, did you ever get an attitude? Sure, I can decrypt a memory stick, no problem. It may take a while, at least a day. He's the guy you hired to take photos of your cheating wife. You're the guy they hired to beat the crap out of the guy you catch with your wife.
It's a good point.
You think Maldonado was spying on you? Not surprising. Comes in here all the time to eat, just so he can complain. He says he likes barbecue, so I'm not sure why he eats here. Who's that? Like Inspector Burns says, it all tastes the same when your tongue's charred.
Well, at least Inspector Burns knows his business.
Another item on my to-do list today is checking out Maldonado's regular office that's on the street.
Alright. Let's save this here. detective ASMR style. And I think here's where we're going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me for the smooth jazz ASMR dance as we attempt to out-detective our detectiveness. That didn't really make any sense, did it? That's okay, because neither does this game, but it's still awesome. Well, let's exit out of here, and then let's go raid somebody who deserves a raid. Yes, it was super fun. Feel free to stay for at least another minute so that we can raid someone and make their day or night. So we're gonna raid. Who are we gonna raid? You know what? Let's go raid Knox. Starving artist is starving. We need to help them so they're not starving anymore. So the raid message will be late night ASMR dance party. Alright, everyone. See you over there. Afterwards, have a great night. And have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Let's go raiding.